I would like to look at the data. How often are our dogs hurt? What is? But I don't even know if that the lady called in earlier. There's no data to check.
No,
you know, so
Yeah, some lady said there's no data, so I guess there must not be any data. Yeah, the trainers have to keep accurate records of everything, including injuries.
yeah.
Just
So
like when you find out what they feed the dogs, it's an acronym, and it starts off with the word diseased.
yeah, yeah.
They eat what's left over. It's the diseased parts of animals that they eat. They don't even get decent dog food.
The greyhounds just have to eat what's left over. That's one of the most ignorant things I've ever heard. Apparently, this woman on the radio here is complaining about the greyhounds eat 4D meat when her dog eats 4D meat as well.
Do you have a problem with them using the dogs for gambling? Is that the problem? Or is your problem with the way they're treated?
The way that they're treated, the way that they're put down. I mean, you remember the stories years ago that when the dogs weren't fast, they just went and shot them and they were piles of dead dogs.
Oh yeah.
Greyhounds? Man, they're the most well cared for dog breed in this country. Nobody has a better adoption rate than greyhound racing. They don't put dogs down. They don't shoot them. How irresponsible of this radio station to even say something like that. Yeah, this lady is just spewing up all the propaganda she's heard over the years. But if you're going to say something like that on the radio, maybe you should go check it out for yourself first. You know, you're really slandering an entire industry that's innocent here. You know, it's seriously disgusting that you would suggest that the greyhounds are shot when they're done racing. Sickening.
Exercise.
Well, you know what? We had
planet.
the exact opposite this morning. A woman that actually adopted two of them. She said that they just lay around. They're sprinters.
They've raced enough.
Right.
She said they're
They've raced
sprinters,
enough.
and
They've raced enough. Okay, listen here, you propaganda spewing woman on the radio. These dogs run for approximately 30 seconds a week. A week. If anything, they don't run enough. This radio announcer lady sounds straight out of Grey 2K.
kind of docile and they kind of lay around
They are
and they're
very
loving
docile.
dogs. Yeah.
They're very docile. They're very, very sweet breed. And
Did you ever think that maybe they're such a sweet breed because of their sweet upbringing? You act like you've seen some greyhounds, lady. Do any of them act like they've been abused? Are they sweet pets because they're abused? Or are they sweet pets because they've not been abused and they've been treated so well? Use your brain.
you know, a lot of times, I know when I first moved and saw the muzzles on them, the assumption was that they were just rabid animals that just wanted to tear at each other. They muzzle them because they're bored in their
Right.
cages behind the scenes, and it keeps them from eating the crates.
Yeah.
They don't muzzle the greyhounds when they're in their crates, just so you know. And they're not so bored that they'll eat their metal crates up. Just so you know, these dogs are out of their crates so much throughout the day, so many times throughout the day, it disturbs their sleep. Greyhounds have very thin skin, and when they roughhouse around, they do it with their teeth. And if they didn't wear muzzles, you'd have to go to the vet about 8 times a day. It's mandated by the racing industry that they wear them when they're in a group. They don't wear them in the crate, dummy.
Facts are, a greyhound dies every 3 days in Florida from racing.
Okay.
Yeah, see,
Greyhounds absolutely do not die every 3 days from racing. You know what I mean? You guys are spewing the activist propaganda big time. What you just said is completely false.
But also we got with people who are like, oh, they give those dogs cocaine. And we talked to the guy this morning that worked there for 10 years. He said that's not accurate because if they gave them cocaine, they don't. They're in a pen an hour before they race, and it already would be coming down.
We like to give them the most expensive drug on the planet, but then feed them dead dogs.
right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense. You're gonna rub your dog's gum with them, literally the biggest party drug on the planet, and then feed them S.
How many?
Come on, man.
I wonder how many golden retrievers die every 3 days.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know.
Greyhounds are tested forensically, okay? Parts per billion. Olympic athletes, truck drivers, none of them are tested this way. They're tested with a threshold because of environmental contaminants. Testing anything forensically, parts per billion, 1/10,000th of the grain of sand kind of a thing. You know, you have contaminants in the environment, and testing a dog forensically can pick up on that kind of stuff. No dog's ever been given cocaine. It's stupid to say that. I admit, it's stupid to test the greyhounds that way. No one else is tested that way. Why is it that greyhounds are tested that way? Good question. Stupid. Too bad we can't forensically test some of these dumb so-called radio talk show host people.
And as a form of entertainment for families, you know, I'm not, you know, like a pita bra burning screaming
Right.
freak.
I'll take you up on that bet, lady.
Just, if you're going to make your money off the backs of the animals, at least have the decency to not feed them food with an acronym that starts with the letter D, which stands for disease.
Yeah.
Give them a decent diet.
I
Give them a decent, you know.
Okay, deal. The greyhound people won't do it if you don't do it. Would you prefer that these trainers and owners feed their greyhounds like prime rib or something? Bet you $1 million these greyhounds eat better than your dog.
Give them decent accommodations. Don't put them in a crate that you have to muzzle them for because they're so bored they're chewing their enclosure.
Right.
That's not asking a lot.
Well, if that's all you're asking for, then you should be happy.
Feed them to the other dogs.
It's not a dog that most people want to adopt because it's not as cute, really, as other
Actually, you
dogs.
got Audrey online too. She just adopted a greyhound.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot
I mean,
of.
just because Audrey has one doesn't.
Hey, maybe greyhounds aren't as cute as a puppy, but they're awesome dogs and people love them. And there's a waiting list to get one. That's if the greyhound adoption people think you're qualified to have one.
And so we went through, there's an adoption process. You have to apply for it and blah, blah, blah. So you go in there and they're
Blah, blah, blah.
all housed in the same place.
Yeah.
They're in like these long kennels. They don't have homes. So they're housed in these big kennels. And
The kennels are their homes, you nitwit.
you know, I'm not saying that they're well taken care of, but their basic needs are taken care of. They are air conditioned, they're heated, they're not like out, you know.
Yeah, well, maybe they're not sitting on a couch in somebody's house. But I'll tell you one thing, there's no place a greyhound would rather be than in those racing kennels. So where a dog can be a dog and they love it.
Oh, no, that cocaine thing, that's not really true.
Yeah.
Well, you take a second, you start doing some news, and it actually is. In the state of Florida, in the last 20 years, they've had dogs test positive for cocaine 230 times.
Oh, and they're like, I wasn't doing it.
Did you know last year 12 dogs were tested positive for cocaine in Jacksonville? And the trainer disputed it. When they take a urine sample from a dog, they initially take the sample, then they put it into 2 bottles. And then somehow it's locked in the bottle so no one can tamper with it. When the trainer disputed it, sent it to a lab in California, they did a DNA test on it and they discovered that it wasn't even canine urine. I wonder who was setting up the greyhound racing industry. Doesn't that throw into question every positive test for cocaine?
And they're not releasing the information, and when it does come out, it's damning and it's damaging, and it doesn't do the industry any good.
Right.
So it seems like if they had better oversight or
Yes.
more, you know, I guess, more transparency with all that information.
Learn the lesson from SeaWorld. Learn the lesson from Blackfish. Learn the lesson from the documentary. And
Blackfish? Oh my God. You are an extreme activist lady. Drug samples are taken by the state. There's no way for greyhound racing to try to hide it. That's just a completely ignorant claim.
You've been volunteering with an adoption group for 18 years. Was a hater originally until I learned the truth by being there. I carry the state inspector card and have never had to call them. The info you guys are sharing today is not accurate. Well, Mary, I hope we're not coming across as experts. We've really tried to talk to different people.
That's funny. The only person that I saw that you talked to was an anti-racing activist person.
And get you behind the scenes firsthand. I don't really want to see the behind
So you're basically on the radio slandering an entire industry and you don't want to hear the other side of it?
the scenes. I'm totally cool with being gone, to be honest. If they, but you seem to know a lot more about it.
You're cool with racing being banned? Maybe you have an agenda.
On it. So I'm just. I was Mary. I have to tell you something. I was doing the voice of a dog on cocaine moments ago, so I don't know how much credibility my opinion on this has.
It doesn't sound to me like you have any credibility whatsoever. That's pretty disgusting, man. You guys go on the radio and spout off all this animal activist lie stuff all over the radio. You don't even have somebody from the greyhound industry on there. The only person you talked to was an activist. Yeah, these Greyhound people, man, the people that race these dogs, man, they're being victimized by activists, politicians, now radio people who don't know what they're talking about. Just a ploy for some ratings or something, I guess. I don't know. The fate of thousands of people's jobs are at stake. You know, how to home thousands and thousands of dogs all at once. Now, this is a serious issue, and these guys kind of make light of it and spread lies on the radio. It's very irresponsible. I wouldn't recommend anybody listen to Monster Mouths in the morning.